For those of you that are joining us for the first time, Sedalia is one of just 88 communities across the nation to launch this cornerstone program within our community, really to connect entrepreneurs and individuals that are launching businesses in somewhat of a support group throughout the community. It's based on the notion that entrepreneurs discover solutions and network over 1 million cups of coffee. Born out of economic development Sedalia, our goal here is to create an ecosystem in the community to identify and support entrepreneurs. At this time, I would be remiss if I didn't also highlight our sponsors this morning, and that we could not do this without Great Western Dining, who is fueling our morning with the great coffee service. We appreciate that a great deal. Callus Integrated Marketing with our social media and marketing support. Interstate Studio and Publishing Company. Philip, thank you. You are on video camera, folks. State Fair Community College for offering us this great space to utilize for 1 million cups. And also Economic Development, Sedalia, Pettis County, for organizing this initiative as an outcome of the economic development efforts throughout our community. A special thank you also to the organizing committee. You know who you are out in the audience. We appreciate you all being part of this initiative. Each month we will have 2 entrepreneurs that tell us a little bit about their story, their journey, and also some of the challenges they face throughout a 6-minute presentation, which will be followed by a 15-minute question and answer session. This morning, we are very delighted to have the original Bucket Stool as a presenting entrepreneur and Vaughn Holton Ranch LLC as our highlighted companies. Thank you both for your commitment to be here this morning, get up on this stage. We know it's a little intimidating to be up here, so we appreciate you taking the job. Now, remember our ground rules, folks. The culture of 1 million cups is that of a supportive, neutral space that welcomes entrepreneurs to be open and honest about their businesses and the challenge they face. Keep your questions coming, but also focus them in a positive, constructive way. This should be an open, safe haven for thought-provoking dialogue. So while our presenters have the floor for that 6 minutes, please be thinking of questions and or comments that can benefit both the presenters and our audience. So now let's get into it. Let me first welcome to the stage Jim Conmeyer with the original Bucket Stool. Establishing his business in September of 2014, Jim is going to spend the next 6 minutes telling us about his journey and the challenges that are on the horizon. Please put your hands together in welcoming Jim Conmeyer with the original Bucket.
This is not a trick question. Has anybody ever sat on a bucket? Okay. Stood on one? Well, don't do that. I am Jim Conmeyer. I'm from Concordia, Missouri originally. That's where our company is located. I'm from Cole County, and there's always been a big debate about which town is more German. Well, I squelched that when I told the people in Concordia that the dogs still bark in German in Cole County. We are, actually, the name of our company is RWK Solutions, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. That's my dad on the right. That's what we enjoy doing, spending time outside. He is actually the inventor on the patent. And from the patent process, if anybody has a great idea, one suggestion is wait till you're 65 because they'll bump you up in the line. We did not know that. When he had a provisional patent, that's when we started doing a little product research. Once everything was settled as far as production, we went with the utility patent, which our process wasn't that long. It was probably about 8 months. It is a pretty simple product. One of the things he came up with is he is the inventor. We kind of call him the perfecter in that somebody probably 15 years ago, just prior to his retirement, gave him a wooden one that was actually attached to a bucket. And then next time you watch Grumpy Old Men and you see Walter Matthau with Anne Margaret in the ice shanty, real quickly you'll see a similar product made out of wood. And there was one on the market or through the patent process about 20 years ago. What allowed us to get the patent was that right there. And then ours fits on as a lid. And so what it does, it just allows, this bucket is a little out of round. It allows you to still use your bucket as a seat, except you're elevated, so you can still throw things in. So if you're fishing and you catch a fish, you can put the fish right in the bucket.
What's a small fish?
Well, if you catch big enough fish, then if that's a problem to take it off. If you're a little shorter, you need to be closer to your work. It also sits on a 3.5 gallon bucket. This is what we like to use in the garden, picking green beans, pulling weeds, playing catch with kids. We always say a wild pitch, you keep the ball in there, don't get up. Just pick a ball up and throw it back. Or, if you want to sit a little bit higher, you can get a 6 gallon bucket. Depends on your height. This is the one, we've got a guy that loves to do a lot of dove hunting, and he uses it out in the field. His dog brings the doves back, he's able to put them right in the bucket. Now, it spins. I did put a little wax on the bucket. We guarantee the ball bearings will never wear out. But yeah, the key is with it, what we've done is going through the manufacturing process. It's manufactured in Excelsior Springs, so it is a Missouri product. We did have an original manufacturer in Wisconsin. Distance became an issue, so we moved. I want everybody to keep an eye on, or remember this screen. The versatility of the product, whether you use it for detailing a vehicle, tailgating, fishing, home projects, sports, in the garden, on the farm, that's a good thing, but it's become a challenge. Our original thought was to try to get into the retail market, brick and mortar. We really wanted that retail exposure. People like to see the product, touch the product, see how well it's built. The challenges with that is this is our only product. It's a single SKU. It's a $14.95 retail product, and as much as people like it, whether it's accounting or whatever, we just have a hard time getting into the retail market. The other thing is when we present it, I can call 4 different places, and they'll put me in touch with 4 different buyers. And so we risk of it going and being categorized into a certain part of the store. Actually, the best place where these have been selling is where the buyer is the owner. A small mom and pop shop. It gets demoed very well. And so the single SKU, it best sells when it's demoed, instead of somebody just picking up and trying to figure it out, and then the go-betweens. I liken the retail market a little bit like a strand of Christmas lights. They can all work, but if one doesn't work in the middle, you're kind of sunk. So, what we did, probably in the last 8 months, one of the things we did, this is actually in Des Moines, Iowa. We went to a show, lawn and garden show in Springfield, and actually the last day we sold out a product. We were averaging a sale every 3 minutes. And so that told us that people like it, they were buying it for all different reasons. And about that same time, through George, who I saw on his Spotter Cone website, I got linked up with Tyler Evans. He's on our team. He's kind of our right-hand man. He doesn't know that yet. but he's going to help us. We're decided that we are going to change our strategy. And we're going to do online sales. So we're in the process. We're getting real close to launching our own online store. And we're going to take a look at the challenges. We're going to opportunities are first, or challenges. Opportunities. No go-betweens. Okay, we're hopefully going to be engaged directly with the customer, to the end user, pun intended, end user. What we're going to try to do is do some video demonstrations online. We'll be able to retarget customers. The big challenge we're going to have is trying to replicate what happens when we're at a home and garden show and doing that online. We know this is an impulse buy. That people come and they don't know they're going to get one. And so how do we take that impulse buy and drive somebody to a website so they purposely go and buy it? Okay, and we're going to try to get real creative with videos, demonstrations. Again, opportunities, we're going to be going directly to the people. This is my favorite. The ability to segment and target various audiences will allow for optimal digital marketing spend based on seasons, trends, etc. That's a tech guy's talk. So what it's going to allow us to do is in the springtime, go after the gardener, maybe some of the clubs out there, garden clubs in communities, take a look at rec leagues for baseball, transition into Mother's and Father's Day, then into hunting season, and then into Christmas, and just change our approach, how we're going to market due to the season. Again, when we started this some time ago, everything that I thought was going to happen, it doesn't work that way. And so we're just trying to roll with the punches and try to pivot in the proper direction. So, I didn't even get the ding, ding, ding yet.
No, you didn't.
Okay. All right, so. Tyler, we're done, so you can come. We're going to have it ready for the question and answers.
You're literally on the hot seat.
Yeah.
So, questions, folks. Let's jump into the question. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Where can I buy one of those now?
See me after.
I mean, are they in stores around Sedalia, or?
They had some at Moore's Greenhouse. I'm kind of drawing a blank. They're you can go to Amazon right now and get one on Amazon. So we do have that Amazon presence that a gentleman has sold them for us. We sold them, and so you can go there. I'd prefer that there might be some there were some at the MFA. Now, see, this is another thing you do. They make styrofoam inserts. You can turn those into nice tailgating pieces.
So talk about the manufacturing. You said that you had just recently sourced that to a Missouri manufacturer.
Yeah. I don't really want to get into too much of that with tape rolling. Sure. But it was mainly a distance problem. We were very naive as far as getting into the business, and so it was a distance problem. We didn't realize we're in the middle of plastic injection molding territory, especially in Kansas City, and so when we had the first thought that maybe this distance or this isn't going to work, we started searching out. We found a real good manufacturer.
Great. Linda?
Yes, Linda.
What was your biggest hurdle starting out? Or
I don't know if we get the biggest hurdle yet. Being naive. If this would have been very helpful to have been able to come into this environment prior. We jumped in, we thought we're going to have them packed in 6-pack boxes, walk into these stores, and people say, well, how many can we get? And it doesn't work that way. And so we went from the 6-pack, we now have 1 and 2-pack boxes as we're going to ship through our website. So it was just being naive, probably having the wrong manufacturer too far away was the biggest hurdle. There were a bunch of them.
In your manufacturing, have you thought about, as you move forward, maybe doing them in different colors or with logos on them for universities, or?
The logos, they say that if you're going to do, this is what we hear, the NCAA is worse than professional sports. And to get into that licensing part, potentially, different colors can be done. We have to be careful. I mean, if you get to an orange or a lighter color, it's quite a bit more expensive to produce. Plus, their light sensitive black is naturally UV protected, and so it's going to be a lot sturdier product. Plus, black is the cheapest.
So how long have you been in business, and how long have you had your patent And have you tried retail stores, Orscheln, Tractor Supply, places like that?
2014, the business was set up. Our mold was built in 2014. First production run came beginning of 2015. About a month later, we said we need to move our mold. That got sticky. And so we really, about a year ago, is when we got back into production. We can talk with Orscheln's. I've sat down with the bucket company that makes buckets for Walmart and Lowe's. And you have to be careful because if you take a look at that bucket, the person that buys buckets in most of these places is the paint buyer. Well, if the paint buyer buys these, it may end up in the paint department. And it's probably not the best place. And I know there's seasonal buyers, but like at Orscheln's, usually when you talk to them, they want you to go through their buying group that they're a member of. And so then you got to contact the buying group. They've got all these different buyers. They want you to spend $6,000 to come to their show to represent the product. Well, now you don't know if you're going to go into the lawn and garden, the hardware, or where you're going to end up. But yes, we've contacted Orscheln's a couple times, and maybe we should try a little bit harder. But after I contact Orscheln's, there's Orscheln's regionally all over the country, and so when I contact about six of these different companies, and they tell me basically to contact our buying group, I get the same story, and I've contacted the buying group, but it's just to put the capital to go into a show and hope you get in front of the right people is quite a risk. So what we're hoping is that through the online sales, when we went down to Springfield, we sold 272 of them in 3 days, and we went up to Iowa. It wasn't quite as good, but we're starting to get invites now from other event planners that see us at these things. And so that's going to be kind of our boots on the ground to get some product out there and get people to see it. And then, hopefully this is going to be our best avenue online if we can get that exposure and build that brand. And then hopefully maybe be able to go back into some of those. I'm not saying I won't ever want to go to one of those shows to present it, but right now we feel that that's probably not our best. And we could be wrong. Yes, sir.
You mentioned you've been in, or you could be in a number of different departments in any given store. Have you done any research or looked at any numbers to find out in which department you tend to sell the best?
Probably if we took it down and sold them as beer drinking stools would probably be the best. Usually the best
liquor stores would be good.
Yeah. Usually the prototypical buyer is the guy that's coming with his head hanging low because he had to go to the lawn and garden show with his wife, and he sees it. He thinks I sit on buckets all the time anyhow, and he buys them, and they'll buy them. I had a lady bought one to throw balls for her dog because she was tired and she could spin around and pick up a ball. And so where we thought it was going to be was like in the fishing, but they don't do near as well with like the fishing. We haven't taken a look at ice fishermen yet. Everybody says go to Bass Pro and Cabela's and do and all this. That's fine. It has its place, but really that's the only place where our competition is. If you take a look at where they sell seats that go on buckets, that work as lids, is in that. It's really across the board. I don't know if I answered your question. I gave you a long. No, we have not done that research. So, yes, Kyle.
Jim, you were talking about some online type stuff. Where do you plan to be online, or where are you going to spend your advertising dollars online to get people to find you?
Answer your question. This is Tyler. We make no bones about it. This is nothing but a solid piece of plastic with no movable parts and batteries, so it's not real high tech. I'm about as high tech as this thing. So
All right, so we our new website isn't up yet. So I've been working on developing a Shopify website because of all the integrations that go with it. So it works so well with so many different applications. You want to make sure that it integrates with your accounting software, integrates with the logistics software, and it does a great job of doing that. So that's why I chose Shopify. So developing that should be out maybe 2, depending.
About a month and a half, about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it should be ready to go. But with that, once we get that, we're going to start doing content marketing, doing the videos, YouTube videos, demonstrating how to do different things with the bucket stool, and building the audience that way. Gathering email addresses, because that is still the cheapest way, the best, the most bang for your buck. For every $1 you spend on email marketing, you average $40 back. I'm not a huge fan myself of email. I get so many of them, but I realize that is still the best bang for your buck. So we're going to put out content and gather people that way, Facebook, primarily Facebook, and then probably Instagram, possibly Pinterest, because there's so many different visuals that you can use and do with these things. And that's how we're going to create that content, gather a following that way.
And we're going to put some money to like Facebook, and we're going to do some advertising like that.
Right, that segmenting and the targeting. Sorry, that's on Facebook. We're able to put the right advertisements in front of the right people at the right times. So that's what we're going to do.
We're thinking like maybe car dealers would be good giveaways for customers for detailing their car.
You can come sell too. You're selling me. So.
Yes, sir.
Where do you see the company in 5 years?
Where I would ideally like to see the company, I'd like to see me out in a fishing boat more. What I see the potential, if it does well, I'm always leery to say anything. What I'd like to see the company is have different colors, license the different colors to camping, to outdoors, maybe some brown ones to outdoors, black ones to auto, or maybe different colors, and use the colors as our licensing. That's one of the things people talk about licensing, but then again, you're potentially pigeonholing yourself into a particular product category, and we're leery of that. So hopefully, I'm going to say this kind of tongue in cheek, 5 years from now, we'll be a household name. So, any other questions? Yes, sir.
It seems that you've had the best success selling like a lawn and garden show, and it seems like a product that would lend itself well to like a home shopping network. I guess sell it on the TV late night, impulse purchase sort of thing. And I know that those channels solicit businesses for products to put on the show, and they'll help you make the videos, etc., for selling on there. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I've taken a quick look at QVC, and I just haven't got into it too far. I'm one of these guys. I lose focus so quick, and so I got to do one thing at a time, and then that can be a challenge. And so, but that's been brought up, and I guess that is a little bit too not to be a worry ward or anything, but they claim that takes a lot of money and time to get on those two. I did want to point out, I tell you what, I've never been so tethered in my life. One of the things that I did, and my wife wouldn't let me wear my shirt today, we go to these shows, and we always have a contest, how many people say you need to go on Shark Tank. And I got so tired of it that I had a t-shirt made for my dad and my little boy. Robin, can you read that?
It says, help keep us from having to go on Shark Tank.
And so you wouldn't believe how many people, I'll be wearing this shirt that will still come up and say, you need to go on Shark Tank. I said, well, help us not. And so one thing I did want to point out, as far as logistics, are there any other questions?
Is there a weight limit to that stool?
We've got a 300-pound weight limit. I can tell you a story off record of when it's held up. I don't want to say it because if somebody ever gets a look at this, somebody will try it. We don't want them to do it.
I have the very last question, so you go ahead and.
The buckets are all made differently. This is a higher grade bucket than this. short bucket. From a material standpoint and a thickness standpoint, it's the bucket that's going to go before this does. So, but we do have a 300-pound weight limit. It has passed the Bob test, is what we call it, because we've got some big old boys sit on it. One of the things that we're trying to, with the online sales, that is going to be somewhat of a challenge. What's kind of nice, I never was too much of a beam counter, but we've got this box that one of these goes into. I'm almost done. If that bell wasn't ringing, I'd be getting those together better. We can put 2 in the same size box with the same, so it costs the same to ship this, maybe a few pennies more depending upon the company. And so we're really trying to get on our website for people to buy 2 of them versus 1. And that's been the hard thing. We don't want to artificially inflate the price on 1 to get them to buy 2 because we don't want to run off that person that wants to try 1. So we're trying to educate people how shipping works, that just for a few pennies more, that second one can be shipped. So
Jim, one last question. What can we as a community do for you?
As a community, I've thought about this question. 2 things. The community keep doing what it's doing. This is a great program, and I wish it would have been here a couple of years ago. It probably saved us a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And there's still some of that to come, but it's all right. As a group, you can text
1MC Sedalia.
1MC Sedalia.
To 44222. And then you'll join our mailing list, and then you'll also receive a discount code when the Shopify e-commerce site goes live. So that's text 1MC Sedalia to 44222.
Like us on Facebook. We only want you to like us if you really like us. So go like us. We're going to have a booth at the State Fair. So come see us there.
Jim, we have not forgotten to, you have requested help with doing business plans, so we've not forgotten that.
That's fine. I might be a challenge. So, thank you.
Jim, Tyler, thank you guys.
Thank you.